Adventures of Irvingman! Superman is flying over the city, more or less on patrol, when he sees something that may benefit from his attention. But when you're Superman, it's not enough just to shield the intended victim. After you save your target, you use your special super reversal filmo power to restore the broken chimney. Then you call a bricklayer to come put some mortar in the blasted thing so it doesn't happen again.
If it makes any difference to you who you saved, I'm Homer Garrity.
Oh, the private detective? How do you do?
I'm flattered that you know me.
Garrity figures it was just an accident. Nothing that exciting happens to PIs in real life.
The first one said Superman had been showered with bricks. The second one said concrete blocks. By the time I got the last one, an entire building had collapsed on him.
And you should have seen the look on Homer Garrity's face when it happened.
And how do you happen to know about the look on his face?
Yes, Kent, just how do you know that?
Well, I happened to be nearby at the time.
That was a mistake, and Lois isn't going to let it go. She's determined to prove he's Superman. She's made a mock-up of his phone book, except it weighs over 50 pounds. If he picks it up with ease, she has her proof. It's not hard to figure out who did that or why.
Clark, I'd like to look up a phone number. Would you hand me the book, please?
Oh, sure, Lois. Here, catch.
Miss Lane!
Something the matter?
Now Lois is more convinced than ever.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, Clark switched the books, right? That means he discovered ours was a dummy. And how did he discover it was a dummy? With his x-ray vision, that's how.
Or maybe he looked in it when he found his real phone book, which is what actually happened. Ask yourself why he would be x-raying the phone book. Her next step will be to hire Homer Garrity, the best private investigator in the city and the guy Superman just saved. She wants him to follow Clark Kent. When he asks why, she says, "If you find what I think you will, you won't need to ask." Jimmy's a little bummed that Garrity doesn't look like a cross between Humphrey Bogart and Basil Rathbone, and he's even more bummed when he learns that Garrity has a gun and other items, but in all his years as a PI, he's never used them. He sure ain't like the private eyes in the movies. But he can start right away. He just wrapped up a big blackmail case and is ready to turn the information over to his client, who can then go to the police. Jimmy is about as deflated as it gets without imploding.
Maybe this'll impress you, young man. You see this mirror?
Yeah?
All right, come with me. Look.
Well, but...
That's right. Miss Lane can't see you at all. This is a special one-way window. The other side of it's a mirror.
He says, "Stay in here and watch while I talk with Miss Lane. You'll see what I mean."
Keep both hands on the desk, Garrity.
Certainly, Mr. Leonard.
Who's the dame?
Sales lady. Office supplies. She has nothing to do with us.
If you're in trouble, so am I. I'm secretary.
All right, lady, you can come along, too. Hey, boss, how come we don't get a secretary like that? We just got... It's wrong.
We don't even have to ask why Lois said she's his secretary. She's off to get the story from the inside.
Hello.
Garrity? Homer Garrity?
Who's this?
Just the guy you got out of a jam once, Homer. So I'm returning the favor.
Hey, Maury, rack 'em up. What kind of a Johnny are running?
Shut up, you guys, will you?
Who's that?
Oh, never mind. Listen, Garrity, I'm tipping you off. Couple of characters are out to get you. So watch it, will you? That's all.
I'm sorry, sir. You're a little late. It's time to call the police.
Hello, police. I want to report a kidnapping. Lois Lane, Homer Garrity. Just about a Never mind. You handle it your way. I'll handle it mine.
You don't know how much I wish I could show you all of this.
Miss Latour, take a memo. I'm calling this the unfortunate kidnap caper. It all started quite innocently enough with Lois Lane and Homer Garrity being let out at gunpoint.
And of course, all PIs talk like, but I simply cannot do that face. I've tried for years and my facial muscles just don't bend that way. I don't know why. I'm going to say it's genetic. That way it's not my failure, it's my ancestors.
Now I'm off to find the tipster himself. How, Miss Latour? Elementary. I merely look for a pool hall run by a citizen named Maury. No license.
It's just as well he'd probably end up dropping gum in it or something anyway. Jack Larson had to have a blast doing this episode, and it leaves me wondering how much was scripted and how much was off the cuff. Now that I've watched his acting for a couple of seasons, I can believe either one.
Got a match?
What for?
Like my cigar. Here, have one.
Jimmy's too young to smoke. Nobody wants to answer questions about Homer Garrity, even though the guy in white is the one who made the call. Jimmy doesn't know that, so he leaves. He gets the drop on this guy. Once he's got some information, it's time to cuff him so he can wait for the police.
Now. Hey, what did you do to me?
I didn't do nothing. You did it yourself.
And the brilliant private eye had the keys in his hand where fingers could grab them away and leave. The police called Perry White and told him about the anonymous tip, so he has Clark looking into it. We saw Garrity turn that tape recorder on, and Clark could hear it running when he came in the room. He plays it back and hears everything, including Jimmy's bit of play acting, and the clue about the pool hall.
What are you doing here?
That's his way of saying his quarter was on the table before yours, it's his game. While he's pumping this guy for information, Cappy is trying to pump Garrity. So far, Superman is having more success.
For 10 years, I've been running one of the juiciest blackmail rackets in the country. Then you had to stick your nose in it.
That's my job.
Sure, but what I want to know is who hired you.
Just one of your victims, who finally decided to be smarter to pay me for a little while than pay you forever.
We've seen him in that posture before. How many of you Atomaniacs recognized Professor Isaacson from the Eli Wallach Mr. Freeze episodes in Season 2? His real name was Elisha Cook Jr. He started acting at age 14, primarily on stage. He managed to break into movies in the 1930s, but took a few years off to enlist in the Army during World War II. If you read his IMDb page, you'll see a list of education credits, but those have been called into question. As we've seen with a lot of these performers who blossomed in the first half of the 20th century, record keeping could be an iffy thing during that period. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. He was kind of the poster boy for puny guys. The Army listed his height and weight as 5'5", 128 pounds. After the war, he made it work for him, doing roles like this and Professor Isaacson. Despite his size, he had an air about him that said, "Don't mess with me." We can see it right here. He was married 3 times. He married young and wound up divorced. He and his second wife divorced after 25 years, but remarried 4 years later and remained married from then on. I can empathize. He died in 1995 at the age of 91 after a 60-year acting career. Wow.
Well, what are you doing here, Fingers?
I tried to tell you on the phone. There's some screwy kid running around playing detective.
So what?
So he's on to something. I don't know how, but he is. And if he is, maybe somebody else is too.
Where's the kid now?
I got him in my room. He handcuffed himself to me bed.
Well, what'd you leave him for, stupid? Get him and bring him here.
And then do what with him?
This ain't good, Cappy. Suppose somebody finds us here with them.
Don't worry, they won't.
Cappy, those things went out with high-button shoes.
I only use it for emergencies.
I hope he doesn't expect him to jump down it.
No sense mussing you up. Yet. Noodles, Take him downstairs.
I'm not sure how much you'd have to pay me to play a character named Noodles. And don't worry, there are actual stairs to get downstairs. He showed them the trap door, so we know it's there later. While Fingers was away, not only did Jimmy get loose, he found the address of this place.
All right, you guys, back against the wall.
I must be seeing things.
Better do like he says. He looks dangerous to me.
I got an itchy trigger on this finger. Finger on the trigger. You two up against the wall.
Get it over with.
Now tell me what I want to know. I'll give you till I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. I'll give you another chance. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Cappy has a way to eliminate them without all those messy bullets and escaping red blood cells and all that. Unlike your average villain, though, they didn't leave. There's a little side room with a window so they can watch. Look at that! He yanked it off so quickly the friction fused the two parts of the trapdoor together into one piece. Superman gets more remarkable with every episode.
Superman!
Little known tidbit, Superman tried to smoke a cigarette once. The first puff he took, the cigarette went like this, and gone, filter and all. He decided it was too much work.
He inhaled enough of that gas to kill 10 men.
And he's got us trapped in here.
Well, you better get Miss Lane out in the fresh air, Superman.
Quick, he's gone. Now's our chance.
There's only one way out, and it's through that room.
Out of my way, flat!
Like that, Mr. Garrity?
Exactly like that, Jimmy.
Correction, there's only one way out, and it's in police custody.
And how do you feel now, Miss Lane?
Much better, thanks.
When and where did he exhale all that poisonous gas? He didn't. He held it until his body absorbed it all, and by that time he was tripping so heavy Lois had 4 heads. When Jimmy and Garrity came in, each picked up a head and carried it out the door. He knew it was time to go home. Thanks for watching, kids. And remember, clicking that like button is cool. Subscribing is even cooler. Leaving a comment is as cool as the coolest person you know. And becoming a patron makes you almost just like Superman. So don't hesitate. Do it today. Until next time.